Hi everyone, welcome back to Channel Wyla, and for today's video, I really want to talk about a topic that interests me this time. So rather than listening to what you guys recommended me to do, I'm going to talk about a topic that I'm deeply interested in. And it all started back in 2021. At that time, younger me was taking a personality test on a website called 16 Personalities. As for the test, it was supposedly named the MBTI test. I wondered at that time, what is MBTI? Basically, MBTI means the Myers-Briggs Type Indicator, which is a self-report personality assessment that categorizes humans into one of the 16 personalities. The assessment is based on Carl Jung's theory of psychological types and was developed by Catherine Briggs and Isabel Briggs Myers. Okay, so to put it simply, MBTI helps us to understand how we think, feel, and make decisions. It's made up of 4 main letters that describe different sides of your personality. The letters determine 4 different things, which are number 1, whether you get your energy from people or alone time, and number 2, whether you focus on facts or new ideas or innovations. Number 3, how you make decisions using logic or feelings. And lastly, how you prefer to live life, planned or spontaneous. But to be honest, in my opinion, simply taking an MBTI test is not enough. So not enough if you truly want to know yourself, because oftentimes the test depends on your current mood. I recommend you to study cognitive functions of each MBTI letter if you want to accurately know your strengths and weaknesses. Okay, let's go back to the topic. Back then, I remember my MBTI being an ISFJ. But after I researched more into it, it turned out that I'm actually an INFJ. So rather than being an S type, I'm more of an N or intuitive type. And yes, it is known as the advocate or idealist. I am the introverted, intuitive, feeling, and judging MBTI type. But what does it feel like being an INFJ? Are INFJs truly the rarest personality type in the world, like all the MBTI stereotypes say they are? Well, in this video, let's dive into INFJ's quirks and characteristics, filtered through my lens. Okay, I'm opening my laptop now as I say this, and multiple Google websites state, and I quote, that the INFJ is the rarest personality type, making up 1 to 2% of the world's population. To be honest, I can't help feeling that it is true, but I can't prove it to you all without external facts because it won't be objective. Fear not, I have found this source. So let's get into it. Based on an article by Devin M. on Introvert Dear, INFJs are people pleasers. To be honest, okay, that is true, but it may apply for me a few months ago. I used to be such a people pleaser that saying yes to almost everything and everyone when they needed me was normal. And it left me barely any time to spend for myself. But ever since I allocated my time for competitions and I actually put my time into them, I decided that I needed to stop my habit of agreeing to everything, because in the end, the only thing people or humans really care about is themselves. And I need to pay more attention to myself and my needs. So now I only help people when I can, and I don't really initiate to do it unless they look like they really need help, Why do I do that now? What are other reasons? Well, it is because I tend to absorb other people's emotions a lot. And when I mean a lot, it is a huge amount. Oftentimes in social situations where I have to be present in an event full of people that I'm not emotionally close with, I get drained out easily because I can quickly pick up on patterns, whether it's about people or random incidents that occurred in the past. This happens because INFJ's high levels of empathy or extroverted feeling is paired up with their introverted intuition or NI, meaning that they don't only pick up on someone's mood but often ends up involuntarily mirroring those emotions. So when I feel that a friend is being odd or different than usual, I tend to question them, asking, "What's wrong with you?" or "What happened?" But sometimes I turn all weird too if they deny that something is wrong with them when I truly know it. Okay, that is exhausting, yet it enables us INFJs to deeply understand and help others as best we can. I can come across as two-faced for some people. That is weirdly funny because I know humans all have a tendency to adapt to different people. But when it comes to INFJs, we take it one step further. Before knowing me, a lot of my friends say that I looked serious and an introvert. But after we got close, and it takes some time to do so, I turned out to be such a such a yapper. This transformation requires two special ingredients, which are the right people and the right time as well. As feelers, INFJs are usually attuned to their surroundings and those around them, like I said before. And it takes time for us to feel 100% comfortable with our surroundings. We are also quite judgmental because there's a J in our personality type. We are also quite judgmental with other people's personalities, but we tend to keep it low-key. So we only select a few people into our inner circle. By the way, I prefer friendships that are more intimate, as in I can talk about loads of topics with them and rely on them with my secrets, rather than knowing a lot of people but I can't trust them and they can't trust me. Door slamming. Okay. Door slamming is a term that refers to an INFJ decisively cutting someone out of their life, often suddenly and without prior warning. This is valid and I do it too, but of course only on certain conditions. A door slam is a signal that we can no longer invest emotional energy into a relationship where it's clear that our feelings and efforts will never be returned. It can also happen when a relationship becomes toxic, such as when an INFJ has been targeted by a narcissist. Back then, in the past, I had a friend that I was utterly close with and everyone knew about it. But I found it weird that she would cry disappointedly when I got a better grade than she did. That's weird, isn't it? Friends are supposed to support each other, not cry disappointedly because of one's grades. But I found it weird. She'd also copy my actions to an excessive amount that I felt overshadowed in some way. And okay, it's fine if my friends copy me or, I copy other people too. But I don't do it to an excessive amount that I lose myself into it, As people who love to analyze, I could recognize the topic pattern in that friendship. Hence, when she decided to distance from me first, I did so too, and I completely cut her off, inevitably. Essentially, an INFJ has no more emotional energy to spare in that situation and would rather put that energy into something more productive or worthwhile. I don't really agree to this fact. To be fair, I dislike small talk. Okay, I don't like it and would always prefer deep and engaging conversations whenever and wherever I am. But on times where small talk is required, I would definitely go for it. Sometimes, without us noticing, if we begin a new conversation with small talk, it can go many ways. That's what usually happens to me. Whenever I'm getting to know someone, I'd ask them basic questions about themselves, like their hobbies or their environment, such as, how's school, such and such, or how's the weather? Sometimes I ask that too. Then I'd pay attention to their response and try to categorize if they're suitable enough for deep conversations. Okay, yes, that is a big yes. As a child, I have tons of hobbies. I love painting, drawing, coloring, writing especially, reading, and also public speaking. But I feel like as I got older, I don't have time for those hobbies because I always focus more on my schoolwork and studying. While I do like studying, I know that everyone prefers doing their hobbies more when they do have one. And this can make me stressed. So I try to associate with my hobbies at least once a week. Because I feel like it is important for us to have time for ourselves. Like truly for our soul and our needs. Because it brings us back to our identity and inner peace. Yes, okay. INFJs are perceived as the advocate or the idealist, and that is true. I am a perfectionist. When I invest my time and energy into something, I go all in. I'm the type of person that would say, oh, it's either yes or no. I'd rather go all in or not. I might spend hours fussing over the tiniest details to achieve the result that I envisioned so perfectly in my mind. Before I do something, I'd usually expect myself to get it done at this rate, when in reality, sometimes I can only do it half the rate that I expect myself to. And when it's not perfect, my stubborn side rears its head. I might shut down completely and procrastinate or obsess and do nothing until it's perfect. That is such a bad thing. And I decided that I shouldn't continue it. For your information, I just finished and got over this long phase of demotivation a few weeks ago. It occurred when I first stepped into 11th grade and discovered that I needed to struggle harder to achieve higher ranks in class. This angered me deep inside because in grade 10, I didn't have to study as much to get good grades. Hence, my perfectionism got the better of me, and I thought to myself, if I need to put extra efforts into studying while others can do it without it. I see my classmates, they don't study that much to achieve perfect grades in class. So what's the point in the end if I'll receive bad grades? But when I come to my senses and I try to fight that feeling, I said to myself, you need to take small steps every day, consistent steps, so you can be like them, because to be honest, we never know what that person sacrifices to get good grades, because I've never seen my classmates study, okay? But I've only heard from them that, oh, I don't study as much. No, I don't study, but it may be something that they deny, Mind you, it took me 3 whole months to overcome that demotivation. And even now, I'm still feeling that. It kind of still lingers in my mind, that perfectionism. But whenever it does, I try to slap it away and focus on what truly matters in the present, which is to keep trying no matter what. And when we do put efforts into studying or doing something that benefits us, it will make a huge impact on the future, and we will feel that we spent our time doing good things. Okay, and to sum it all up, To my fellow INFJs and to the people who relate to this video, do take time to find people who also enjoy deep and meaningful conversations. It'll make you feel less alone as the world's rarest personality type. Don't forget to dive into your hobbies. Don't be afraid to show it. And do not stress about being perfect all the time, because there's nothing perfect in this world and it's okay to make mistakes. We can view mistakes as an effort or proof that we have tried. And when that proof of trying gets better and better each time, we'll finally see a gallery full of things that we've tried and eventually successed in the past. So, thank you so much for listening to this video. I hope that it is a good one and it can be of benefit for you. See you next time. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bye!